Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I am going to talk about the two interesting thing about the language, about the linguistics. When we study linguistics, we should know these two things because these two things are very important. Principles, parameters. What are the principles? Principles are the entities that are observed in all languages. The parameters are the specific values that differentiate language X to language Y, language Z to language W, language R to language P. These are the parameters. And the only Chomsky states that there is only one principle, that is locality principle. And what is locality principle? Locality principle is the principle that ensures that all the operation must be within the local domain. This is the locality principle. Whatever the language we are talking about, whatever the language we are speaking, our language should follow one principle, that is the locality principle. And locality principle states that every operation must be within the local domain. What is local domain? When you talk about the head, the complement, and the specifier, this is the universal entities. What are the parameters? Parameters are the language specific values, language specific properties that a child must determine the parameters of that particular language. Talk about a specific language like English language, like Urdu language, like Punjabi language, like Spanish language, like Italian language, like Korean language, like Japanese language. What are the differences among these language? The differences in this language is the three differences. These differences are due to the parameter setting, because every child has potential to develop the setting of the parameter. The one parameter, that is the head position parameter. Head position parameter states that what is the placement of head. Either the head will be at final position, or the head will be at the at the beginning position. Is the head position parameters. Understand? For example, we say that open the door. Open the door is a VP, and in this VP the head word is open, the door is a complement. What is the setting? What is the order of this constituent? The order of this constituent is that the first item is verb, the second item is the complement. The first item is verb, the second item is its complement. But the control of that whole constituent is under the verb, that open. Have you got my point? This is the language, this is the property of English language, that English takes head at the first position. And if we talk about the Urdu language, in Urdu we say that darwaza khole, and this is the VP verb phrase, and this is the constituent. And in this phrase, the order of that phrase is that in the first position the complement, and the second position is the verb. The order is totally opposite, because in English language the head at the first position and the complement at the second position, but in Urdu language the head at the last position and the complement the first position. You can see the data of your language, whatever language you are studying, you can see the data of your language. The second parameters is that WH parameters. WH parameter states that what is the position of question word. What are the question word? Question words are why, what, where, how, who, whom. These are the question word. And what is the placement of that question word in the English language? And we often see that the placement of that word in English language is the beginning position, because English requires that all the WH item must be at the initial position, and this is the specific parameters of English language. And if we take another language, and in other language we can say that the other language takes the WH item at the final position, but the English takes WH item at the beginning position. And the third parameter is the null subject parameters. And null subject parameter states that subject is optional, and some language the subject is compulsory. When we talk about English language, in English language we see that the position of the subject must be filled overly, because in English language we can see that even in English language we use it as a subject in the English sentence, and we use there as a subject in the English language, because the English language requires that the subject position must be filled with some entities. But our Punjabi language, our Urdu language, our Hindi language does not require that the subject position must be filled. And English language, Urdu language, Punjabi language and Hindi language has the option. And in these languages, the position of the subject is null. In this video, I have discussed, students, the four things that is very common in language. And whenever we are studying on languages, the study of language, study of linguistics, we should know these four things. These four things I am repeating here is that the principle. What is principle? I have already stated. The principle is locality principle. And the second is the parameters. And what are the parameters? Parameters, in this video I have discussed that there are three types of parameter. One parameter is the head position parameter. The second is the WH parameter. And the third is null subject parameter. When a child is acquiring a language, he has option whether he has developed the head at the first position or the head at the last position. And he has developed the option that either he has take the WH item at the first position or the final position. And he has developed the particular difference that either he will take the null subject or the subject position must be filled. And these are the parameters. Keep watching this video if you want to know about